Good afternoon to you. I just wanted to say hello and hope you'll be able to finish off the class pretty well. We're winding down to these last few weeks of the spring semester, and it seems like yesterday it was just cold, snowy, and icy, and now it's gotten warmer. I cut my grass last Saturday. I'll cut it again this week, but that's a welcome change from snow blowing and all the rest. I wanted to remind you, though, that the rough draft number 2, is due. You can submit it today, which is Friday, April 17th, or you can even wait as late as midnight on the 20th. I do want you to respond to at least 2 other students' papers. I'd like you to do a paragraph or so. If you want to write more, you can, but give them some feedback. Take a look at their paper. Give suggestions on the content, the format, anything that you feel would be a benefit. Because again, remember, everybody in this class has different expertise, has different knowledge, has different experiences, and to me, that's what makes for a great class. I lived in San Diego for 7 years. I lived there from 1983 to 1990. And one of the best experiences I ever had is at the San Diego Public Library. I became involved in the Great Books Society or Foundation, and so every Saturday we would read a longer short story, or like Heart of Darkness, or not. That's not a short story, but like a longer work, something between a short story and something a little bit longer. But anyhow, it was great because I was a student at the time, and there was a person who was a mail carrier, and he was a brilliant man. And then we had somebody that was a musician, and we had all sorts of people. And so it was a nice, rich array of viewpoints, and I really, really appreciated and gained so much from it. Um, this is going to be the second draft. Everybody gets to comment on that. At the very end of the semester, I'm not going to have you submit your final draft to the discussion board. I'll just have you email them to me, and I'll grade and critique them, and send them back to you. But here are a couple things that I'd like you to keep in mind when you, especially with the second draft, but more so with the final draft. So, like, when you do the final draft, I mean, you don't have to just limit yourself to one introductory paragraph. You can use 3 or 4 paragraphs to introduce the scope of the topic, give some facts and statistics. If you want to use a quote or two by some well-known experts and authorities, that's always a good idea to do. You can, of course, you want to get into your thesis statement, but also like your own perspective or your point of view on a particular issue. So, like somebody in the class is writing about stress, and so they're personally affected by stress, and so is their sister, and that's really, really helpful to know. The last thing that I would encourage you to do is like to make a listing of topics you're going to be covering. In the body, then, of course, use headings, and the headings help. And so when you use a heading, though, you have to use at least 2 paragraphs, so you can certainly use more. Try not to start or end a paragraph with a source, but especially when you end a section, you can review and rehash, get back to your thesis and comment and draw conclusions. So you can definitely do that. Practice your use of transition words. Try to use some quotes by experts and authorities. If you can bring in your examples from people or your sources, that's always a good idea to do. So that's something I encourage. Visuals are very, very helpful. I like those. I find those to be quite useful. So if you want to incorporate charts, tables, or visuals or so on, you can do that. Of course, you ever want to put like links to web pages or links to a video or YouTube, that's fine. When you get to the conclusion, then you can review again in a couple of paragraphs, and then of course make sure your works cited page is correctly formatted. So and one last thing I wanted to tell you. So like after you submit the second draft, if you have another draft you want me to look at, you can always email it to me, and that would be fine. And you can see then also in the next couple of weeks, so like I wanted you to do a research status report by Monday the 20th, just to let me know where you are with the paper and that sort of thing. And then by Monday the 27th, the discussion board to indicate what you learned from writing the paper and so on. And then by Friday, May 1st, you can submit the paper. But of course, if you want to submit it earlier, you're certainly welcome to do that. So that is it. I just wanted to say hello and just let you know what's going on. Thanks.